What's up everyone? Welcome or welcome back to the Marketing Nomad YouTube channel. I am the Marketing Nomad. Okay, so yesterday I was scrolling through Instagram and I actually sent a message to myself. Okay, hold on. I don't know if you know this, but Instagram, there's a new update to Instagram, and I don't know, for some reason I've had to manually update it. So usually it automatically updates, but this time I had to actually go to the the profile page, right? Go to your profile page, and then on top there are those three lines, right? Just click those three lines, you get settings and activity, and then you scroll down, you'll have something called update Instagram, and then there'll be a blue dot to it. I've got about a couple of Instagram pages, some of them private, some of them public, one of them private, and then some of them public, and all of the accounts I had to manually do it. So now the updated version of Instagram is that it is the homepage. Then if you swipe left, then you have the Reels FYP. Swipe left again, then you have the messages, and then swipe left, it's the search page. And then you get to the profile page. So it's a little bit different. And now on top, usually when you went to the top right, you would be able to get to the messages. Yeah, now it's not like that. Now it's only the notifications that's there on the top. And to get to the messages, you have to go to the third part in the down, like the third icon in the down. So I'm still getting used to the new format. They say it was meant to access the messages a little bit more easier. I don't know. I'm just running with it. All right, so yes, I sent this to myself because I knew I was going to talk about it today with you. So let's talk about it. So this tweet is by Harriet Hunt, right? This one was a post on Instagram, but it was a picture of the tweet. Harriet Hunt is an aerospace engineer at NASA, and she tweeted, "I'll never forget when a boy in my high school chemistry class told me, 'You'll never work at NASA,' and laughed at me. That was the day I decided to become an engineer." And when I saw this on my homepage, it was just coming through, I read this and I laughed and I said, that's a karmic contract right over there. And it was such an impulsive thing for me to say, and I realized how much I've actually grown in terms of how I perceive naysayers. So I wanted to sit down with you and talk to you about my thought process when it comes to naysayers, because I think that I have had a lot of naysayers in my life. I think that from the beginning, I've always wanted different things for myself. I think that it was just my soul's blueprint coming out. Whether it was, let's say, for example, wanting a career that I was passionate about. At that point in time, when I started saying this, people were not really that open to the idea. At least people's perception of having a career that you're passionate about usually involved lack of success, or even the few who did find success in their field, yeah, it wasn't really respected at that point in time. So I had a lot of naysayers. The moment I started even saying this out loud, I had a lot of naysayers telling me, no, that is not what you're supposed to do. Like, work is work, and then you come home and then you enjoy life, or then you live your life. And I don't know, that thought process just did not align with me. And at that point in time, yes, I did feel very defeated. I was very frustrated, very angry, and I was scared also, because at the time I started saying this, I still had not found my passion, right? And today there are a lot of things that I'm passionate about, and I have made a career out of it as well, out of a few of the things that I am passionate about. But at that point in time, I didn't even know what I was passionate about. And here I was, so bent upon the idea that I wanted a career that I would be passionate about. And so I was scared also at that point in time. But I think that for a very long time, I did hold a lot of frustration, a lot of that resentment towards people who kept telling me I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And even, as I grew older from that, I guess with the H-1B visa situation, where my H-1B visa did not get processed, and then I had to come back to India, and there were a lot of people who said, oh no, you can't start your own business, or you're not going to be successful, or I wanted a business that was completely digital, completely online. That was my vision for the Marketing Nomad. The moment I realized that, I was going to start something on my own. This was before the pandemic, so things about businesses being completely online, it wasn't that widespread of an idea. And again, I had people telling me, no, what are you even thinking about? Why are you so crazy about this idea? Why don't you just do something that everybody does? Or why aren't you normal? So on and so forth. I did hold a lot of pain and resentment, because it does hurt, right? It does hurt when you have people telling you no, and no, it's not possible, or no, why can't you just do what everybody's doing, so on and so forth. And yes, a lot of resentment that I was carrying, and I realized that it was starting to get heavy on me. While, at that point in time, it did give me the fuel to continue on my path, or actually it solidified my determination. It was actually very heavy for me to carry all of those resentments, all of that pain, that frustration. And that is when I started looking at those relationships very differently. Today, the way that I see them, or the relationships, I guess, or the connections, is that they were people I had karmic contracts with. They were meant to trigger me so that I could remember my soul's purpose, so that I could follow or be determined to follow my soul's blueprint. All right. I also think of those as times or moments when they were actually meant to push me down a path that was in alignment with who I was meant to become. And if I look at my journey up until now, I would have to tell you that they gave me the starting point to follow my own path. While the initial spark that they gave me, was kind of coming from a place of fierceness or frustration, or even like staunch determination and pain. Yes, pain also. I think that it also gave me a starting point to start my journey, and allowed me the space to realize my own reasons for following that path. So today, my reasons for, having a career that I'm passionate about, a job that I'm passionate about, or even a digital business, completely digital business, my reasons are very, very different today. But maybe at that point when I started out, I didn't have the reasons that I have today. And I was meant to go on that path. And yes, this is a little bit more of a spiritual thought process. I was meant to go on this path, but the starting point of me coming on this path needed to be given by them, so that I could create my reasons for continuing down that path. Like I said, today I operate from a very different thought process of why I am doing what I am doing, especially the things that people said, no, I couldn't do it. But they did give me the spark, and that is also something that I have gratitude for. That is also something that I consider to be a blessing. They are not part of my life, at least most of them. They're not a part of my life because I feel that the karmic contract is done. I have kind of fulfilled my end of the contract with respect to the transformation that I was meant to make. So the karmic contract is done. For the naysayers who, came out of, or came from a place of love and, wanting to protect me, not wanting to see me hurt, I do still maintain that relationship with them. But I think the way that I perceive them saying no is that either they are there to protect me by saying no, or they're there to help me realize what actually is what I want to do for myself, what is my soul's purpose, and the path that I am supposed to be on. So I think that the way I perceive those relationships has shifted dramatically, especially in the last couple of years. And there's a lot of peace within me, even when I hear no from someone. I always, and I feel that trigger within me rising, right? That's when I realize, okay, well, what is this trigger about, right? Is it that, yes, they're coming from a place of protecting me? Some of them maybe not. Some of them may be going out of their way to dissuade me, maybe intentionally not wanting me to do something that they have a limiting belief about. Yes, absolutely. There are multiple reasons. There are good, there are bad, there are ugly reasons why, people would tell you no, or no, you can't do it, or let you know that it is not possible for something that you wish to do for yourself, especially one that is not going to hurt anyone. Yeah, there are multiple reasons, right? So my first thought process is, what is this person triggering within me, right? Is this meant to stop me from doing what I initially felt I should do, or is this meant to get me started on the path that I am meant to be on? So just thinking about those relationships in that way, I don't take it personally anymore, or at least I think I have a thought process that allows me not to take it personally anymore. So I have to go through that thought process. Otherwise, I would probably take it personally. So it's like an intentional process that I do have. But I think that my relationship with people that I have karmic contracts with or had in the past is a lot more peaceful in terms of how I perceive it. I perceive them to be helping me with finding my soul's purpose, or transforming me into the person that I am meant to be, or I decided I would be in this lifetime. Alrighty, ran out of battery, had to change the battery. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so the way that I perceive these relationships, or especially connections that are triggering, is that they are karmic contracts meant to trigger me so that I am guided back to my soul's path, or I am guided to the transformation I am meant to have because of the journey that my soul has chosen for this lifetime. And as much as it hurts sometimes, as much as it causes pain, frustration, resentment within me, perhaps in that moment of time, even maybe doubt as well, it's meant to happen. I am meant to experience that because of them. And that's the contract that I have with them. Because the thing with karmic contracts is that it will not end and will continue to trigger you until you have gone through the transformation that you're meant to go through. That was part of the contract. The minute that happens, the contract ends, and usually you will see them either disappear from your life, or that connection will become void. It will just no longer trigger you anymore. But until that transformation is happening or has happened, yes, you will go through the trigger, you will go through the pain, you will be pushed to transform. All right, so that is how I view them. In fact, today I guess the way I gain my sense of peace is that I have gratitude for those connections, because they were meant to help me find myself. They were meant to help me, or to remind me of who I'm meant to become. And they are actually pushing me to become a version of myself that they decided to help me with, So the reason why I laughed is because I think that at one point I was so filled with resentment that I could not even perceive this. But today it is such a reflex. Today it is such a reflex that I saw that post and I was like, that's a karmic contract right over there. This kid in her school pushed her, maybe triggered her at that point in time. Maybe she felt really bad. I mean, it must have hurt. But that also solidified her determination. And that's who she is today. She is on her, I guess she's found her soul's purpose, and she's living what her soul's journey was meant to be in this lifetime. So that is what my thought process is with respect to naysayers, or people who maybe keep telling you no, people who keep triggering you, especially when you want to pursue something that you feel within your soul is something that you are meant to do in this lifetime. Because there's a reason why you feel it so strongly. It's because it was meant for you to achieve. It's your soul's blueprint that's coming out. And before your soul comes into, this lifetime, it has its own journey written out. All right. So if you feel that within you, it's probably because you're meant to achieve it in this lifetime. Nothing is random, is what I also feel. And I had these visions that were significantly different from the people around me. And that was the life that I had chosen for myself, for this particular lifetime. And so they were meant to help me they were meant to help me by reminding me of what my soul was meant to do. And the way that they did it was in a way that probably caused pain at that point in time, but it did lead me down the path that I was meant to. So having gratitude for them, of course, as soon as the karmic contract is done, yes, there's relief. Yes, there is that sense of closure as well. But there is also, I feel, there needs to be gratitude for those relationships. Otherwise, I don't think I would be here. To be very honest with you, without the naysayers, I don't think I would have been that determined to start or to sometimes, even when there's a dip in my determination or my motivation, at that point in time, there definitely has been one person or two people coming in, triggering me, and then the motivation gets right up. And I take those people to be, that they were meant to. They were meant to push me, especially when I forget what my soul's path is meant to be, or when I falter in my steps towards my soul's journey. So having gratitude has helped me. Of course, I do want to say, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier, that they may have been a starting point, or they may have, pushed me in moments when I was, kind of low on determination or low on motivation. But over time, my reasons for why I do what I do have evolved. I think that they gave me the push that I needed when I needed it. And that also gave me the time and the space to understand my own reasons for why I wanted to do certain things. Because when I wanted to do all the things that I said, I think that at that point, it was more of my soul's blueprint coming out, but my logical mind hadn't really caught up with why I was feeling it so strongly. So they gave me the spark, but the reasons became more clear as to why I wanted to do why I felt the pull within me. Those logical reasons started appearing much later. And I think that they gave the spark so that I could have enough time to formulate my reasons or to understand deeper reasons as to why I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So that is also one more way why I do have gratitude for those relationships. So the reason why I wanted to sit with you and talk to you about this is, I think that at every given point you will have, few people who will dissuade you or who will try to kind of let you know that maybe it's not possible, something that you really want to do with your soul. And they may have their own reasons for it. And some of them, yes, the reason why they are doing so is to protect you. But others, it is meant to trigger you. So I wanted to share this thought process so that it helps you, first off, pause and think about whether their trigger is protecting you or it's meant to trigger you so that you can move forward on your soul's path, or it's to remind you of who you are and who you are meant to transform into. Then the second reason is for you to find peace with the previous relationships that you may have had with naysayers. Maybe they're no longer part of your life, but maybe you're still holding on to that resentment. That is heavy. That gets heavy over time. And beyond a certain point, it becomes unhealthy. It becomes something that weighs you down a lot. So that is also, just to help you let go of maybe things that are too heavy for you to carry and things that you're not meant to carry forward anymore. Right? And number 3, also to share my own experience, my own evolution of my thought process, so that gives you a starting point to how you are viewing people who have triggered you in the past and who are triggering you, and also help you understand that they are part of your soul's journey for a reason. And I also think that, I hope that this gives you a few moments of reflection and looking back at your journey and recognizing that they have actually shaped your journey, whether you know it or not. That is part of the karmic contract. They have shaped your journey, and there needs to be gratitude for that as well. So this is where I will leave you for today. If you like this video, definitely do give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, I am looking forward to having more conversations with you like this. It's going to be informal. It's going to be what I am thinking about, what I am reflecting. I definitely have the intention to continue with this. I kind of like this format where I can just put on the camera and then talk to you about whatever is on my mind, and in a way share my own thought process and also hear yours as well. You know, what has been your experience, what has been your thought process, and if there are any particular topics that you want me to talk about, maybe share my point of view, share my thoughts about it, definitely do let me know in the comments section below. If you have any thoughts, maybe a different kind of view, or maybe you want to add your own perspective to what we just talked about, absolutely, please do so in the comment section below. All right. Okay, so this is where I'll leave you. Take care, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.